I have often reflected on the meaning of responsibility and the role that each of us plays in the story of our lives. Sometimes, when the world seems too large or too complex, I pause to consider the threads that connect us to one another, the invisible bonds that carry the weight of love, expectation, and legacy. It is in these moments that I feel most acutely the presence of those who have shaped my understanding, who have taught me that leadership is not merely about power or recognition, but about empathy, awareness, and the courage to act in accordance with one's principles. I am reminded of the delicate balance between duty and desire, the intricate dance between fulfilling the obligations placed upon me by birth and nurturing the personal dreams that stir quietly in the heart. Every day presents an opportunity to reconcile these two worlds, to honor what has been entrusted to me, while also allowing the freedom to grow, explore, and define myself beyond the gaze of others. This is not always simple, and it is certainly never easy, but it is profoundly human, and it is within this struggle that I find clarity and purpose. I reflect on the moments that have left an indelible mark on my life, the encounters that have inspired me to listen more attentively, to observe more keenly, and to act with greater consideration. There is a quiet power in observation, a strength in pausing to understand before speaking or deciding. I have witnessed how compassion can change the course of a conversation, how patience can heal a misunderstanding, and how humility can turn a simple act into a gesture of enduring significance. It is this awareness that shapes not only my perspective of the world, but also my approach to the responsibilities I carry. To lead is not to dictate, it is to serve, to protect, and to guide with wisdom that is informed by both experience and reflection. Sometimes the world does not make room for these reflections. It urges us to move quickly, to act decisively, to respond before we fully understand the currents beneath the surface. Yet, in moments of stillness, when I allow myself to step back and breathe, I recognize that it is precisely in this space that the heart learns what the mind alone cannot grasp. The lessons of patience, empathy, and thoughtful judgment are not taught in haste. They are cultivated slowly, nurtured by contemplation and by the willingness to confront one's own uncertainties. Each decision, each choice, carries with it the weight of consequence, and I have learned that the gravity of that weight is best borne when one approaches it with clarity, courage, and a steadfast commitment to fairness and justice. In my own life, I have felt the simultaneous pull of tradition and innovation. I have seen the wisdom of those who came before me, whose experiences offer a foundation upon which I can build. At the same time, I am aware of the responsibility to consider new perspectives, to listen to voices that may not have been heard in previous generations, and to embrace ideas that reflect the ever-changing world around us. This is the delicate equilibrium between honoring the past and engaging with the future, between respecting what has been and imagining what could be. It is in embracing both that I find a sense of continuity, a recognition that progress does not erase history, but rather builds upon it with care and intentionality. I have come to understand that leadership is also deeply personal. It is not merely the execution of duties, but the cultivation of character, the strengthening of one's own principles, and the courage to confront challenges with integrity. True leadership requires acknowledging the vulnerabilities that exist within oneself, for it is only by understanding our own limitations that we can empathize with the struggles of others. It is in this humility, this openness to learning and growth, that one discovers the capacity to inspire, to guide, and to leave a legacy not only of decisions and actions but also of values and vision. I think often about the young people I meet, the students, the children, and the families whose lives intersect with mine in countless ways. They remind me that hope is tangible, that the potential of a single individual can ripple outward, influencing communities and shaping futures. It is both a privilege and a responsibility to witness that potential, to nurture it, and to provide guidance when it is sought. I see in them the courage to dream, the resilience to endure challenges, and the generosity to share their talents with the world. These encounters are humbling, yet they are also invigorating, for they affirm the importance of leading not with authority alone but with compassion, attentiveness, and unwavering belief in the goodness of others. Every choice I make, every speech I deliver, every interaction I have carries with it a reflection of these principles. I have learned to weigh words carefully, for they have the power to encourage, to heal, and to shape perception. I have learned that silence, too, has meaning, that listening with full attention is sometimes more powerful than speaking. There is a responsibility inherent in every gesture, a significance in every decision, and an awareness that the impact of one's actions extends far beyond the immediate moment. These are not lessons that are easily mastered, but they are lessons that continue to guide me, providing both direction and reassurance in times of uncertainty. I have witnessed the beauty of collaboration, the profound effect that arises when individuals come together with a shared purpose. When respect, trust, and empathy guide our interactions, even the most complex challenges become opportunities for growth and achievement. It is in working with others, in valuing perspectives different from my own, that I have discovered the true strength of unity. Leadership, I have realized, is not measured solely by the decisions one makes alone, but by the capacity to cultivate harmony, encourage contribution, and inspire commitment from those around you. In quiet moments, I reflect on gratitude, the recognition of those who have nurtured, guided, and believed in me. I think of family, mentors, and friends whose presence has offered reassurance and guidance. Gratitude, I have learned, is not only an acknowledgement of what has been given, but also a promise to pay it forward through actions that uplift, support, and honor the efforts of others. It is in this spirit of reciprocity that I endeavor to live each day, recognizing that every interaction, no matter how small, has the potential to create meaningful impact. This is only the beginning of our journey together, of the reflections, the insights, and the stories that I hope to share with you. There is so much yet to explore, so many lessons to learn, and so many moments to cherish. In the next steps, I will continue to reveal the deeper understanding of life, responsibility, and love, sharing experiences that have shaped me and the values that guide me, all with the hope that you will see not only the path I walk but also the heart that walks it. There are moments in life when clarity arrives quietly, almost without announcement, as though it has been patiently waiting for you to notice it. I have felt this clarity in the presence of certain people whose sincerity and strength have touched me in ways I had not anticipated. They remind me that connection is not born from perfection, but from the courage to show one's true self, even when vulnerability feels daunting. I have learned that allowing oneself to be seen, genuinely and without pretense, is not a sign of weakness but a gesture of trust. It is through this openness that the deepest forms of understanding are built, the kind that do not require explanation or justification, only sincerity. In this journey of discovering who I am and who I hope to become, I have encountered decisions that demanded more than logic. They required heart. They required listening to the quiet but steady truth that emerges when doubt is silenced and authenticity is given room to breathe. These decisions have shaped not only my path, but also my perspective on what it means to truly choose someone or something with conviction. When I think about the choices that have touched my life the most deeply, I recognize that they often did not come with certainty at first. Instead, they evolved through reflection, patience, and the courage to accept what my heart already knew. Choosing someone, in the emotional sense, is not merely selecting a person to walk beside you. It is acknowledging that their presence awakens something within you that may have otherwise remained dormant. It is admitting that their light helps illuminate your own journey, not because you cannot walk without them, but because walking with them somehow makes the road feel more meaningful. In this realization, I found a truth that resonates deeply: that love, partnership, and companionship are not duties. They are privileges. They are bonds nurtured through time, honesty, and the willingness to grow together. There were moments when I questioned whether it was fair to allow myself such closeness with someone whose life experience exceeded mine, who had walked through more seasons of joy and adversity, who had gathered wisdom shaped by years I had yet to live. But as I reflected, I came to understand that the value of age is not measured in numbers, but in the character and generosity someone carries within them. It is in the kindness they offer without expectation, the guidance they provide without judgment, and the warmth they share without restraint. These qualities transcend time. They are not limited by years but shaped by the heart. In witnessing these things, I found admiration growing into something deeper, something that resembled a decision rather than an emotion. I began to understand that love does not always appear as a sudden spark or a dramatic revelation. More often, it unfolds quietly like dawn silhouetting the horizon before the world fully awakens. And once you see it, truly see it, you cannot unsee it. It becomes a truth you carry with certainty, even in moments of uncertainty. It becomes a choice you reaffirm each day. As this realization grew, I felt an increasing responsibility to honor it with intention and integrity. For choosing someone is not merely about embracing their strengths, it is about standing beside them through moments of doubt, uncertainty, and vulnerability. It is recognizing their humanity, not looking for perfection but appreciating the intricacies that make them uniquely who they are. I once believed that love required grand gestures, clear declarations, or elaborate promises. But I have since learned that love often whispers rather than shouts. It is found in consistency, in small acts of tenderness, in steady presence, and in the quiet courage to stay. In my heart, I began to understand that choosing someone also means choosing the future that you imagine with them. Its challenges, its triumphs, its uncertainties, and its joys. It means accepting the possibility that life may not unfold according to your expectations, but trusting that the bond you share will be strong enough to withstand whatever may come. This trust is not something that is found overnight. It grows with each moment of honesty, each shared fear, each laugh that fills the silence with comfort. Deciding about someone in this way is, perhaps, one of the most profound choices we can make. It is not a decision marked by haste or impulsivity. It is shaped by observation, by shared experiences, by values that align naturally, and by the reassuring awareness that being with them feels unmistakably right. It is the quiet conviction that their presence adds something irreplaceable to your life, something that cannot be replicated by anyone else. I have learned that when you find such a person, age becomes irrelevant. Experience does not create distance, it creates depth. Wisdom does not diminish the connection, it enriches it. When someone's presence brings both comfort and inspiration, when their voice steadies your doubts and their laughter softens your fears, it becomes clear that what matters is not how long they have lived, but how genuinely they live. What matters is not the number of years that separate you, but the intentions, dreams, and values that bring you together. I have seen how shared dreams can weave themselves into a vision of the future, how conversations that start lightly can grow into the foundation of something profound. I have felt how comforting it is to know that someone believes in you, not for what you can offer, but for who you are. And I have experienced how transformative it can be when someone inspires you to become the best version of yourself. Not through pressure, but through gentle encouragement and unwavering belief. It is in this space of mutual growth that I felt the certainty of my decision solidify, not only because of what this person means to me, but because of what we can create together. The future, with all its unpredictability, feels less intimidating when shared with someone who stands beside you with steadiness and devotion. I envision moments of triumph softened by humility, challenges faced with resilience, and quiet evenings filled with the comfort of knowing that we are walking the same path, side by side. There is a kind of love that does not diminish your individuality, but refines it. A kind of partnership that strengthens your resolve, expands your dreams, and nurtures your spirit. When I think about the decision I have made, I recognize that it is not rooted in fear of being alone or longing for admiration. It is rooted in admiration, respect, and the deep belief that some connections are simply meant to be cherished, protected, and chosen, again and again. This choice is not fragile, it is intentional. It is grounded not in fantasy but in truth. It is supported by every moment of understanding, every shared silence, every thoughtful gesture, every trial that strengthened us rather than divided us. It is a decision shaped by countless small certainties that join together into something undeniable. And so, as this chapter of the script unfolds, I share with you not just the decision itself, but the journey that led to it. A journey marked by reflection, growth, courage, and love. A journey that continues in the next step, where commitment begins to transform into vision, where the future we choose begins to take form. As I reflect on the life we are building together, I recognize that choosing someone is never merely about the present moment. It is about envisioning a shared path, filled with unseen challenges, quiet victories, and countless ordinary days made extraordinary simply by being together. This decision I have made is not fleeting, nor is it superficial. It is rooted in the understanding that love, partnership, and companionship require dedication, patience, and the unwavering willingness to nurture what we have with thoughtfulness and care. To choose someone is to recognize that their presence transforms your life, not because it completes you, but because it enriches the experience of being alive. I have watched how your presence influences the lives of others, how your words carry thoughtfulness and weight, how your actions reflect kindness and intentionality. These qualities, cultivated over time, are not defined by age or circumstance, but by character. They remind me that the people who truly matter are not measured by how long they have lived, but by the depth of their understanding, their ability to give freely, and the courage with which they embrace life. In seeing this, I have found not only admiration but profound respect, a respect that transforms into commitment. Commitment is not a single moment, it is a series of choices made over and over again. It is choosing to stand beside someone when the world feels uncertain, when doubts creep in, when fear tempts you to retreat. Commitment is honoring their humanity as fully as your own, celebrating their triumphs and holding space for their vulnerabilities. It is recognizing that together, we are stronger than apart, not because we erase each other's challenges, but because we lend strength where it is needed and encouragement where it may falter. I have seen that in our bond, and it reassures me that this decision, though deeply personal, is one I will carry proudly for a lifetime. Being with someone who inspires growth, who challenges complacency, who encourages reflection, is a gift that cannot be overstated. It is in your presence that I have learned to confront my own fears, to embrace the complexities of life, and to approach each day with intention and grace. You have shown me that love is not merely a feeling to be experienced. It is an active choice, a deliberate act of devotion and attention, a commitment to nurture, to listen, and to protect. I have come to understand that the journey we share is not defined by the grand gestures alone, though they are memorable and cherished. It is also defined by the small, quiet moments that reveal the essence of connection. The gentle exchange of understanding in silence, the laughter shared over something trivial, the comfort of presence without need for words. These moments are the threads that weave the tapestry of a life together, and they are infinitely more precious than any public display of devotion could ever be. In choosing you, I also choose a future built on collaboration, respect, and shared vision. I see the possibilities that lie ahead, the lives we can touch, the lessons we can learn together, and the growth we can inspire in one another. Our bond is not only a source of comfort, but also a catalyst for purpose, ambition, and understanding. It allows us to face life not with hesitation, but with courage, knowing that the person beside us believes in our potential, celebrates our victories, and offers solace during our struggles. The certainty of this decision has come from observing the qualities that are constant in you, qualities that remain steadfast even in adversity. Your strength, resilience, kindness, and capacity to love profoundly are not transient traits. They are a reflection of the person you have chosen to become. They are the foundation on which we can build not only a relationship but a life characterized by trust, shared goals, and unwavering support. This is a decision that grows more solid with every challenge we face, every joy we celebrate, and every quiet moment in which we simply exist alongside each other. Choosing you is not about the absence of difficulty, but about the readiness to embrace it together. It is about recognizing that life is a series of unpredictable moments, yet in your presence, I feel equipped to face them with courage and hope. I have learned that love is not a shield against hardship, but a light that illuminates the way through it. In your presence, I have discovered a sense of home, not a place, but a feeling of safety, belonging, and understanding that transcends circumstance. I want to build a life in which we continue to inspire each other, where growth is mutual and learning is shared. I want us to create experiences that blend the ordinary with the extraordinary, to celebrate the quiet victories, to embrace the unexpected, and to savor every moment that contributes to the story of our lives. The decision I have made is not a single act, it is a promise to be present, to nurture, and to honor the bond we share every single day. As I commit myself to this path, I also acknowledge that love is both an art and a discipline. It requires effort, attentiveness, and intentionality. It requires listening without judgment, speaking with honesty, and acting with integrity. It requires seeing beyond flaws and recognizing potential, embracing imperfections, and celebrating uniqueness. Through this understanding, I am confident that the choice I have made is not only right but necessary, because it aligns with the values, intentions, and aspirations that define who we are and who we hope to become together. This decision, though deeply personal, carries within it a sense of reverence. It honors not only what you bring into my life, but also the shared journey we can undertake. It celebrates the trust we have cultivated, the laughter and tears we have shared, and the countless moments that have drawn us closer. In this decision, there is an acknowledgement of the beauty of partnership, a beauty that does not erase individuality, but amplifies it, a beauty that does not demand perfection, but thrives in authenticity. I recognize that the world may not always understand the choices we make, the bonds we nurture, or the paths we take, yet in choosing you, I also choose to honor what is real, true, and meaningful to me. I choose a connection that transcends expectation, that defies superficial measures, and that prioritizes understanding, trust, and shared growth above all else. This decision is a testament to the depth of my respect, admiration, and love. A love that is deliberate, intentional, and unwavering. As our story continues to unfold, I am aware that every day will offer new lessons, new joys, and new challenges. Yet I am equally aware that there is no other person with whom I would rather navigate this journey. The certainty I feel is not born of fantasy, but of experience, observation, and reflection. It is grounded in reality. The reality of how deeply we understand each other, how naturally we complement each other, and how steadfastly we support each other. In this way, my decision about you is more than an expression of feeling. It is a framework for a shared life, a guide for how we move through the world together. It encompasses admiration for the past, appreciation for the present, and anticipation for the future. It is a living commitment that grows, evolves, and deepens as we continue to share experiences, dreams, and moments that define the narrative of our lives. Ultimately, to choose someone is to embrace them fully, not only for what they are now, but for what they may become. It is to honor the complexity of their humanity, to celebrate the strength and warmth they bring, and to accept the unknown with the assurance that together, every path can be navigated. In choosing you, I choose a life of meaning, partnership, and love that is profound, enduring, and transformative. And so, as I conclude this reflection, I reaffirm my decision to walk beside you, to support you, to honor you, and to grow with you in every imaginable way. This is not a fleeting thought, a momentary impulse, or a wishful hope. It is a conscious, deliberate, and joyful choice, grounded in respect, admiration, and love. It is a decision that will guide every step of our journey together, a promise that I will carry faithfully, and a commitment that will shape not only our lives, but the world we touch through the bond we share. This is the choice I make, and it is the most certain, profound, and meaningful decision I have ever taken.